The Aryan Invasion Theory, a narrative that has woven itself into the fabric of our understanding of ancient Indian history, is a tale that has evolved over the years, much like the cultures it seeks to explain. It begins with the notion of a great migration or invasion, a group of Indo-Aryans, speaking a language that would eventually give birth to many modern tongues, sweeping into the Indian subcontinent around 1500 BCE. This was not merely a movement of people. It was a seismic shift that purportedly altered the very essence of the land and its inhabitants. The Indus Valley Civilization, with its sophisticated urban centers, was said to have been overrun by these newcomers, who brought with them not just their language, Vedic Sanskrit, but also a complex socio-cultural system that would lay the groundwork for what we now recognize as Hinduism. Imagine the scene: a land rich in culture, with its own languages, traditions, and beliefs, suddenly confronted by a wave of new ideas and practices. The Indo-Aryans, with their chariots and horses, their rituals and hymns, arrived like a storm, imposing their will upon the indigenous Dravidian people. The Vedas, those ancient texts composed in Vedic Sanskrit, became the cornerstone of this new order, a collection of hymns and philosophies that would echo through the ages. They spoke of gods and rituals, of a cosmos governed by divine forces, and they laid the foundation for a religious framework that would evolve into one of the world's most enduring faiths. Yet as we delve deeper into this narrative, we must confront the complexities that challenge the simplicity of an invasion. The term invasion conjures images of violence and conquest, but what if the reality was more nuanced? Scholars have begun to favor the term Aryan Migration Theory, suggesting a gradual movement rather than a violent takeover. This shift in terminology reflects a growing understanding that the interactions between the Indo-Aryans and the indigenous populations were likely multifaceted, involving not just conflict, but also exchange, adaptation, and integration. The language of the Indo-Aryans, Vedic Sanskrit, became the language of the learned, a medium through which knowledge was transmitted and preserved. It is fascinating to consider how language shapes thought, how the words we use can influence our understanding of the world. Vedic Sanskrit, with its intricate grammar and rich vocabulary, provided a framework for expressing complex ideas, and it became the bedrock upon which many modern Indian languages would build. The echoes of those ancient sounds can still be heard today, a testament to the enduring legacy of this linguistic heritage. But language is only one facet of this intricate tapestry. The religious texts that emerged during this period, particularly the Vedas, were not merely collections of hymns. They were a reflection of a worldview that sought to explain the mysteries of existence. The Vedic religion, with its pantheon of deities and elaborate rituals, offered a way for people to connect with the divine and understand their place in the cosmos. Over time, this religious framework would evolve, giving rise to Hinduism, a faith that now encompasses a vast array of beliefs and practices, uniting millions across the subcontinent. However, the narrative of a straightforward invasion has been increasingly scrutinized. Archaeological findings and genetic studies have begun to paint a more intricate picture of the past. Instead of a clear-cut division between the Indo-Aryans and the indigenous peoples, evidence suggests a complex web of interactions. The development of Vedic culture and the spread of Indo-European languages may have been the result of both migration and local adaptation. This challenges the earlier, more simplistic model of conquest and cultural imposition. Consider the implications of this revised understanding. If the Indo-Aryans did not simply conquer, but rather engaged with the existing cultures, what does that say about the nature of cultural exchange? It suggests a dynamic interplay where ideas, practices, and beliefs flowed in multiple directions. The indigenous populations were not passive recipients of a foreign culture. They were active participants in a dialogue that shaped the very essence of what would become Indian civilization. The caste system, often associated with the arrival of the Indo-Aryans, is another point of contention. Was it a rigid social hierarchy imposed by the newcomers, or did it evolve organically from the interactions between different groups? The complexities of social stratification in ancient India cannot be reduced to a single narrative. The caste system, with its intricate rules and regulations, likely emerged from a confluence of factors, including economic, social, and cultural dynamics, that transcended the simplistic notion of an invader versus the invaded. As we reflect on the Aryan Invasion Theory, we must acknowledge that history is rarely a linear progression of events. It is a tapestry woven from countless threads, each representing a different voice, a different perspective. The story of the Indo-Aryans and their relationship with the indigenous peoples of the Indian subcontinent is one of migration, adaptation, and transformation. It is a reminder that cultures do not exist in isolation. They are shaped by the ebb and flow of human interaction. In the end, the narrative of the Aryan Invasion Theory serves as a lens through which we can examine the complexities of identity, culture, and history. It challenges us to question our assumptions, to seek a deeper understanding of the past, and to recognize that the stories we tell about ourselves are often more intricate than they appear. As we navigate this rich tapestry of human experience, we must remain open to the possibility that the truth may lie not in a single narrative, but in the myriad voices that have contributed to the symphony of our shared history.